If you read through the blueprints of Solomon's temple, you'll find a massive plumbing project, 10 bronze basins and one colossal tank called the sea. But in verse 6, there's a detail that changes everything about how we view God's grace. The 10 basins were used to wash the sacrifices, to clean up the offerings, but that massive sea, holding thousands of gallons of water, wasn't for the work, it was for the workers. It was for the priests to wash themselves. Why is it so massive and prominent? In ancient Israel, King Solomon set out to build more than just a structure. He built a temple, a house for God himself. Chronicles describes the extraordinary craftsmanship and purpose behind every object made for this sacred space. Each item, from the grandest altar to the smallest tool, was essential for worship and symbolized the people's connection to their Creator. Solomon fulfilled a promise to his father, King David, uniting the nation in a project that defined their faith. The temple's construction was a national effort, blending artistry and devotion. This was about preparing a place for a divine encounter, a bridge between heaven and earth. The story of Solomon's temple is a story of preparation, a place made ready for God to dwell among his people. In the temple courtyard stood the massive bronze altar, a place of sacrifice and atonement. Its size reminded everyone of the seriousness of sin and the need for forgiveness. Nearby, the great bronze basin, the sea, rested on 12 oxen, holding thousands of gallons of water. Priests washed here, symbolizing the need for purification before serving God. The altar and sea together taught that sacrifice and cleansing were both essential to approach the divine. These instruments of faith shaped daily temple life, reminding all of the need for readiness and reverence. Moving inside the temple, the atmosphere shifted from bronze to gold, signifying the sacredness of the space. 10 golden lampstands illuminated the holy place, their flames symbolizing God's perpetual presence and wisdom. 10 golden tables held the bread of the presence, a sign of God's ongoing provision and covenant with his people. The multiplication of lampstands and tables, compared to the single ones in the tabernacle, reflected abundance and permanence. Every item, from the grandest lampstand to the smallest golden spoon, was crafted with care, underscoring the value of every act of service. The holy place became a space of light, sustenance, and fellowship, a divine dining room where God met with his people. Even the smallest tools were made of gold, showing that nothing was ordinary in God's house. Every detail pointed to the glory and holiness of the one who dwelled there. The Inner Sanctum was a place of awe, where every object and action was part of a greater story of worship. Here, the people were reminded that God's presence was both majestic and intimately near. The temple was more than a building, it was the meeting point between heaven and earth. It stood as a visible sign of God's promise to dwell among his people, shaping their identity and faith. The rituals of sacrifice and cleansing taught the people about holiness, atonement, and the seriousness of approaching God. For ordinary Israelites, the temple was the heart of worship, celebration, and community. The sights and sounds of the courtyard made faith tangible, turning abstract beliefs into lived experience. The temple's design was an invitation, God welcoming people into his presence. Every object, from altar to lampstand, played a role in making that encounter possible. The system of worship provided a roadmap for reconciliation, offering hope and a way back to God. The temple was a place of awe and hope, declaring that despite human failure, God had made a way for relationship. It was a divine invitation to draw near, crafted with purpose and love. Through Christian eyes, the temple's objects become symbols pointing to Jesus Christ. The bronze altar foreshadowed Jesus' ultimate sacrifice, once for all, ending the need for endless offerings. We spend so much of our lives trying to clean up our offerings, our works, our behavior, our resume for God. But God dedicated the largest reservoir in the temple to show us the importance of cleansing who we are. The great sea's cleansing water pointed to the spiritual cleansing Jesus offers, making people truly clean within. The golden lampstands echo Jesus' words, "I am the light of the world," bringing divine wisdom and presence. The bread of the presence finds fulfillment in Jesus' claim, "I am the bread of life," offering eternal sustenance. The temple's rituals and furnishings were temporary signs, preparing the way for a greater reality. They pointed to the need for a perfect sacrifice, true cleansing, and lasting fellowship with God. In Christian belief, these are all found not in a building, but in the person of Jesus Christ. The story of Solomon's temple ultimately points forward to a meeting place with God that is open to all. Are you ready for the next chapter? Just click here to go straight to it.